NARD, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, went on strike. But then we have reports now that they've called off their 7-day nationwide warning strike, instructing members to resume work. And the strike was initiated to demand the rescue of Dr. Ganiyat Popoola, who was kidnapped 8 months ago. NARD plans to reassess the federal government's response to their demands within the next 3 weeks. Despite the government's threat of a no-work, no-pay policy, NARD remained firm. And NARD President Dr. Dele Abdullahi expressed cautions, optimism about the government's recent action. All right, when NARD went on strike, their 7-day warning strike, we're expecting to hear from the federal government. And then the next thing we heard is, if you don't work, you will not get paid. A lot of Nigerians were not expecting that, but you're a Nigerian. What were you expecting from the federal government at that time?
Like we all know how labor law, our unions should operate. If we actually want to operate based on the laws of this country, we have a grand norm, which is the Constitution. Did the Constitution give right to these doctors to go on strike if they have issue? Yes. If their demands are not met, did they have the right to go on strike? Yes. So who is breaching the Constitution here? If the law says that, having complained, we have exhausted all the negotiations, all the dialogue, the last option should always be strike. But sometimes the first options are strike, which I don't accept that. It should be last option. And once we have decided, they say injury to one is injury to all. The medical doctors, they are the live wires of some of our families, including me here. Because if I feel sick, the next place to go is medical facilities to get drugs and get, including those our leaders who don't believe in the health sector in Nigeria. They don't believe that we have medical doctors here because they have the resources to travel abroad to assess any medical needs they want to do at any time. So you don't have any right, the federal government doesn't have any right to threaten medical doctors or any other union that are demanding their legitimate right. They are demanding their legitimate right. They don't have any right. So it is where I will complain about the legislatures. Did the federal government at any point in time, who made this statement? Okay, they will say the federal government. But somebody is making this statement on behalf of the federal government. Has the person violated any laws? These people are demanding that their members should be released. What are the chances that this person will be released soon? And again, they continue to bite. When, like my father will tell me, that don't tame the dog. The bite of the dog of a local bingo in the village that had rabies in his mouth. You don't joke with it. Once you have been bite, you have been bite. So if they want to bite, they'll bite it hard. Okay, you went on a warning strike. Now you are giving instruction to your members to come back. How do you think the federal government will take you? That was what we complained about other labor unions when they want to go on strike. It's like anytime something pains you, you want to use the strike as a tool to threaten. Okay, so it shouldn't be a tool to threaten. It should be a tool to demand what you want.
Right. So do you see this strike as a threat or as a tool, like you said, to demand?
It is their right to go on strike. But have they achieved what they went on strike for? No. Why are you calling back the strike when you don't achieve what you want?
It's a warning strike.
A warning strike, yes, it should last for 7 days. Okay, it is good. But do you know how many people that might have died in cause of this warning strike in the hospitals?
And then what you stated earlier about the fact that it's a 7-day strike, and that skipped now what I wanted to say. But what you said earlier, the fact is that about dialogue now, about dialogue, that you see strike as should be the last resort. Yes. But then, does it mean that for 8 months, the resident doctors have not dialogued with the federal government at all? When this person has been in the kidnapper's den for 8 months? But I'll come back to you with that answer. Let's get your reaction to the story.
Well, it's unfortunate that we are going on strike because people are in the enclave of kidnappers for months within the country that we call a sovereign nation. And the only way to drive home their demand is strike. It's unfortunate. See, ordinarily, resident doctors do not need to go on strike. it's the government that should be proactive. If human life in Nigeria is sacrosanct, if my life is important, what we hear in this country is that when there is a report of killing, they will ask how many people were killed. Oh, 2. That one is 2.
You think people say thank God?
Thank
God, there are no much. Oh my God.
So we are playing on human life in Nigeria. So ordinarily, do they need strike? As we're discussing now, the kidnappers are still negotiating. Like we just discussed last week, that they released our husband because of health challenge. Is it in the moon that we are yet to go? It's still in the territory of Nigeria. And yet, the armed forces, the DSS, cannot bust the cartel. You just heard what happened, is it in Ogun State, where a 70-year-old girl was kidnapped, ransom paid of 1 million naira, and after paying the ransom, the girl was discovered, they killed the girl. It's on the news. I got a report of kidnap cases across the country. As we're discussing now, even in Bonik River now, in about 2, or even like yesterday, about 2 days ago, some have been kidnapped, about 10 persons kidnapped. We don't need rocket science. I was told, 2 years yesterday, that a retired police officer said the tracker that's supposed to be one of the tools to use in tracking kidnappers are being used by politicians to track their perceived political opponents. So that is the human system that is helping us to fail in at least curtailing the excesses of criminal elements. What they're supposed to use to fight crime is being used to fight political opponents and put on their workers, secretaries, whether they will defraud them. So what I want to say, we don't need strike by the doctors. It's the inability of the government that protects us.
But do you see this strike as extreme, having in mind the consequences?
No. I will not say extreme. No. It's because, in Nigeria we have been told, if you want to let government know that actually you are suffering, the only option is strike. Not even dialogue, because you can't tell me that they have not been dialoguing. You can't tell me that Mr. President did not hear that the chief of defense staff, that even the inspector general of police did not know that such a high-profile doctor, so to say, in Nigeria, is still in the custody. I use that word in quote, custody of criminals. For about, I think I got to report he was kidnapped in December last year, and he's still there. And other kidnapping activities are ongoing and unabated. So such will not stop, because it has become commercialized until people say no. But these people now, it is not underground they stay. Sorry, they are staying on the surface of the earth in Nigeria.
Then a lot of lives were put at risk with that strike.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, ordinarily we don't need that strike. I said we don't need that strike, but because I was told a few years ago that the only message the government of Nigeria used to hear, to listen to, at least to attend to the needs of Nigeria, is strike.
All right.
So that's why the strike was there.
Thank you so much, Frank. About you, Chief, would you like to add to that before we move on?
Yes, I've said it before, that the last option should be strike. And when the strike failed, because like it is now, they did not do anything, the warning strike, government is not even showing any concern. Government is not bothered about who was kidnapped and how to rescue that person. Maybe we keep praying that maybe God will touch the heart of his adopters to free that person.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Royal Chief, for that. At this point, we're going to short break.